Happy Krishna Conscious morning, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. We are reading the Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami. We are currently on a first shloka, and within 1 or 2 days, we will try to cover the purport of first shloka. So let's start our session by offering the prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगु लंगायते गिरि यत्कृपा तदहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। So yes, as usual, we will start by reciting the shloka. Okay. Then, within 5 minutes, we will try to cover the summary. Hare Krishna, one by one, everyone can start, okay?
Yes, okay.
वाचो वेगं मनसः क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदर उपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगां यो विषहेत धीर सर्वम् अपि मां पृथ्वीं सशीर्षात्। हरे कृष्णा विनोद प्रभु।
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Vacho vegam mansa krodh vegam jiva vegam udar upast vegam etan vegam yo vishesh dhira sarvam otmam prithvim sa shishet sa sheyat.
हरे कृष्ण। वाचो वेगं मनस क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं दरभुपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेद धीरा सर्वम् अभिमां पृथिवीं शासिष्यात्।
हरे कृष्ण। वाचो वेगं मनसा क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदरोपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेत धीरः सर्वाम् अपि मां पृथिवीं सशिष्यात्।
हरे कृष्णा। वाचो वेगं मनसा क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदर उपस्था वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विसाहेत धीरः सर्वमपि मां पृथ्वीं सासीस्वात्।
हरे कृष्ण। वाचो वेगं मनसः क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदरोपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेत धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं सशिष्यात्।
वाचो वेगं मनसा क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदरोपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेत धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं सशिष्यात्।
हरे कृष्णा।
वाचो वेगं मनसा क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदरोपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विसहत धीरः सर्वम् अपि मां पृथ्वीं साशिष्येत्। हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
हरि बोल प्रभु। Yes, Lalita Mataji, Karuna Mataji, Punraj Prabhu, Satyanarayan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vacho vekam manasa krota vekam jihva vekam udaro pasta vekam etan veko yo visaheta dhiraha sarvam apitam prithvim sasya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. You can recite.
Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jihva vegam udaropastha vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha prithivim sarvam apimam prithivim sashishyat. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarapastha vegam etan vegoyo bisahita dhira sarvam apimam prithivim sasisya. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udaropasta vegam etan vegan yo vishaheta adhira sarvam optimum prithvim sashyat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol Prabhuji.
Hare
I
Bol.
hope everyone has recite. Punraj Prabhu, you haven't recite. Would you like to recite? Okay, then we can move to the summary. Okay, so in a preface also, like yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jivva vegam udara pasta vegam etan vegan yo visteheta deha dira sarvam apinam pritivam sa shishayat.
Hare Bol Prabhuji. Yes, like we have to recite, we have to hear multiple times, and we have to
Yeah.
recite multiple times. Then automatically we will able to memorize this verse. Okay, and like whenever my urges of mind, anger, everything comes, like that time we can recite this shloka.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. So yes, in a preface, we listen that yes, like Goswamis, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, already like we also seen in the last book, na he met the Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami in a Prayagraj, and he told him to like go in a Vrindavan and evacuate the Leela Sthalis, and like also like he gave the knowledge about the Krishna consciousness, pure knowledge about the Krishna consciousness. Then, these Goswamis, write all the knowledge with their realization in their books. Okay. So yes, so in a preface we have seen the advancement of a Krishna consciousness depends on one attitude of a follower. So what is our attitude? We are simply coming, hearing, and going, or like okay, like I want to advance in the spirituality. So yes, like today we read the 2 or 3 paragraphs. So I have to take some instruction from that, and like not only take the instruction, we have to follow the instructions in our daily lives. So we have to practice the instructions from the Srila Prabhupada and from the Srila Rupa Goswami. So yes, like to advance, even to advance in a yoga, even to advance in our material life, and like even to advance in the spiritual life, we have to control our mind and senses. Like without controlling our mind and senses, even in a material life, we are not going to achieve anything. So and spirituality is not a joke, na. Like yogis used to do the tapasya for thousands of years. So like we are fortunate by the mercy of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and mercy of a Srila Prabhupada, we have they have simplified the process. But like we are taking it casually. We don't have to take it casually. We have to be very serious. And like Krishna consciousness is a primary thing. Like our like goal is to get out of this like a cycle of birth and death, and like we have to develop the love for Lord Krishna, which is our dormant quality. It is not artificial, na? It is naturally present. Just because we come in this material world, and like we get our consciousness get contaminated by material consciousness. That's why we have just forgot. It is present inside us. So like when we associate with the devotees, that little spark get a fan, and like it is bloom into the fire. Okay. So yes, so advancement in a Krishna consciousness depends on one's attitude. And yes, so in the starting, we have to control our senses and mind. And so we have to become a Goswami, master of the senses. But currently we are a Godas. We fall prey to the mind's demands, bodily demands. Okay. So in the text one, we see that we have to control these six things. We have to tolerate the urge to speak, demands, mind's demand, and we have to tolerate the actions of anger. Then we have to tolerate the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. Okay, and we can easily remember now because they are all in one line. Okay. So we have to tolerate this. And our senses are compared to elephant. Why it is compared to elephant? Anyone knows? So yes, they are compared to elephant. Okay, elephant is very strong now. So this senses, the urges of senses are very strong. So yes, they are compared to elephant because yes, they are very strong. But elephant can be trained. When elephant is untrained, when he goes in a garden or somewhere, he create the havoc. He damage the public property and even kills the human beings. But there is another elephant who is a trained from his childhood. This elephants, they can give the elephant right to the kids, even to the younger person. And also this elephant use in a deity procedure in a temples. And also they, when you go give some donation or give some something to God, even they praise us by keeping their trunk on our head. They show the affection because they are trained. So even Prabhupada says in the first purport na, that this human life, in the human life you have to train yourself. You have to train to change your material consciousness to the spiritual consciousness. So yes, the senses are the strong, but they the good thing is that we can train our senses. Okay. So in starting we see that atonement. So we have seen this Parikshit Maharaj says, then what is the use of doing atonement if they are not able to control the senses? So, senses control is a major thing. Even we have to advance in anything. So, we have seen a more intelligent person, they simply learn by hearing. When they hear from the bona fide spiritual master, learn from the scriptures, then they don't commit the sinful actions. Then second person who are a little less intelligent, they hear and they see, and that they experience one time. Na seeing means they experience. So one time they hear, okay, stealing is not good, but they have to take the chance. They go steal and they get the punishment. They go to the jail. Now they understand, okay, I don't have to steal now. Then further they don't steal. But there are some foolish and rascals, they go in a jail, again come back, again steal, and this goes in a cycle. So Prabhupada, we also see, he see na, Prabhupada called us rascal and a foolish man. Why he called us foolish and rascal? Because repeatedly every purport, every shloka, every purport, every lecture, every conversation, every letter, he's giving the same instruction. You have to take the Krishna consciousness seriously. This is our primary duty. This is a paro dharma, and this is a pancham purushartha na? You have to do this is your primary thing. But then also we don't listen to it. And again go and again commit the same sinful reactions. And then we learn about the namo baladha yasya hi papa buddhi, seventh offense, that committing sinful actions on the strength of the holy name. So yes, we know by chanting you get a lot of pious activities, but this is not the right use of a chanting. Chanting can give you the Krishna prema, but you are using it for simply pious activities. It's like using iPhone for as a paperweight. You are not using it in his full potential. Okay. So there is no use to convince, oh Krishna, I commit sinful actions, sinful actions entire week, please forgive me. Okay, you are confessing, but again when you are going outside the temple, you are committing the same mistakes. Then there is no use of such a confession. Then we move towards the real prayaschitta. So what is a real atonement? That like we have to awake our dormant love for Krishna. We have to awake our Krishna consciousness. And how like real atonement comes with the real knowledge. And how we have to take the real knowledge? There is a standard process. We simply have to follow the process. And it is not like today I chant the 16 rounds, next day I become a pure devotee. No, the process is a gradual. And kalena means like, okay, I'm following the instruction of Krishna, I'm following the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, means like with the time I will become perfect. We should have a faith. And like the Prabhupada says, this human life is for tapasya, it is for austerity. So we have to prepare for tapasya. And tapasya is that like following the instruction of Srila Prabhupada and taking out the time for material things, and like to decrease the Maya's time and increase the Krishna's time. Like Esther's Bhagavatam class was so wonderful. Everyone should go through the classes. Like they have to make the notes, and like we have to implement in our life. There are three stages of hearing. Okay, first stage is okay, whatever they are saying, we are simply hearing, and like we are forgetting. Second stage is okay, we are hearing, we are taking out the instruction and we are writing in our diary. And third stage is okay, I have right now, I have taken out the instructions. Now I have to apply in our life. Then like hearing we are completed. Na? Like we are saying someone to please bring the glass of water. So like he is listening. Okay, he has listened. But like what we like real is listening means okay, he is going. Like he is bringing the glass of water to you and giving to you. So yes, hearing means okay, we are listening, but we have to apply all these things in our life. That is a real hearing. Okay. So yes, then yes, we also see that in a yogasana there are eightfold things like we have to practice, but we can surplus all of these things simply by following four regulative principles. And this process is a very easy, which is recommended by Srila Prabhupada. So and like we have to practice the spirituality under the bona fide spiritual master, and under in a bona fide parampara. Okay. Then like first one, like we learn that how we have to control the speaking power. That like we don't have to speak anything nonsense like a frog is croaking in a field and inviting the snakes. We can control our speaking ability by simply glorifying and speaking about the Krishna. Then like we learn about like how to control this flickerness and like restlessness of a mind. We simply have to fix our mind at a lotus feet of Krishna. And like every time we have to think that like how can I serve Krishna better, and how can I please Krishna in better way. So when we start thinking in this way, naturally our mind will get control. Then like how we can control our anger, we have to we have to engage our anger in Krishna's service. How we can engage our anger? As the Hanumana did, like he set the fire to the Lanka. As the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used his anger to punish the Jagai Madai. Like so, like for a devotees, when it comes to personal disrespect, he become a Trunadapi Sunichena Tararupi Saishruna. He don't care for personal disrespect and honor. So but like when it comes to the pure devotees and someone is blaspheming and like insulting Krishna, then they don't tolerate, they use their anger. So we have to use our anger in Krishna's service. Then how we can control the urges of tongue? By simply eating the prasadam. And like we have to take the decision. Okay, in my entire life, I'm not going to accept anything than the prasadam. Then Maya won't get the chance. But Maya tackle us by saying, okay, like in some cases, what if you don't get prasadam? So like it is like Krishna can provide everything to everyone. So is it like that Krishna is not going to provide you prasadam, or like you will be hungry for all day? No, we have to pray like Krishna, please put me in a such condition that like every time I will get the prasadam only. So we should have this intense desire, and we should pray to that, and we should have the sincerity in our prayers. Okay. And so like we don't have to give the Maya to Maya to peep out. Like if you get this like 0.1% chance to Maya, then like he will catch you. Like he's a like a servant of a Krishna who is very she is very sincere. She is not like us. So like yes, we should take the decision and we should stick to it. Okay. Then we learn that how we can control the urges of genitals. We have to engage them in a Krishna service. Like we have to use the genitals only like to begetting the Krishna conscious children. And this is the duty of our parents to make their children Krishna consciousness. Now we can move further. And yes, we also see now like Krishna is like a sun, and like when sun is a present, there is no darkness. So when inside our mind, when Krishna is a present, then there is no chance to Maya that she will harass us. Okay. So it's still our mind gets anxious or it becoming restless means we are not practicing seriously. Yes, Hare Krishna. Who wants to read? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vinod Prabhu, you want to read? Or Sarita Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When one is fully practiced in the methods of Krishna conscious control, he can become qualified to be a bona fide spiritual master. In his Anavritti explanation of Upadeshamrita, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura writes that our material identification creates three kinds of urges: the urge to speak, the urge or demands of the mind, and the demands of the body. When a living entity falls victim to these three types of urges, his life becomes inauspicious. One who practices resisting these demands or urges is called tapasvi, or one who practices austerities. By such tapasya, one can overcome victimization by the material energy, the external potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we refer to the urge to speak, we refer to useless talking such as that of impersonal Mayavadi philosophers or of persons engaged in fruitive activities, technically called karmakanda, or of materialistic people who simply want to enjoy life without restrictions. All such talks or literatures or practical exhibitions of the urge to speak. Many people are talking nonsensically and writing volumes of useless books, and all this is the result of the urge to speak. To counteract this tendency, we have to divert our talking to the subject of Krishna. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.10 and 11. नायद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो जगत्प्रवृत्तं प्रगृणीत चेत् तद्वायसं तीर्थौषन्ति मानसा नायत्रहंसा निरमन्ति उशिक्षयाः. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitant of the transcendental abode, they do not deprive any pleasure there. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin prati shlokam abhadduvatyapi namanti anantasya yasho ankitani yat shrunvanti gayanti grananti sadavaha. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of transcendental glories of the name, forms, pastimes, etc., of unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. The conclusion is that only when we talk about devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can we refrain from useless nonsensical talk. We should always endeavor to use our speaking power solely for the purpose of realizing Krishna consciousness. As for the agitations of the flickering mind, they are divided into two divisions. The first is called avirodha priti, or unrestricted attachment, and the other is called virodha yukta krodha, anger arising from frustration. Adherence to the philosophy of Mayavadis, belief in the fruitive results of the Karmavadis, and belief in plans based on materialistic desires are called avirodha priti. Jnanis, karmis, and materialistic plan makers generally attract the attention of conditioned souls. Hare Krishna. Screen sharing is lost, Mataji. Yeah. Conditioned souls. But when the materialist cannot fulfill their plan and when their devices are frustrated, they become angry. Frustration of material desire produces anger. Similarly, the demands of the body can be divided into three categories: the demands of the tongue, the belly, and genitals. One may observe that these three senses are physically situated in a straight line as far as the body is concerned, and that the bodily demands begin with the tongue. If one can restrain the demands of the tongue by linking its activities to the eating of prasada, and the urges of the belly and the genitals can automatically be controlled. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura says, Hare Krishna. शरीरा अविद्या जल जाडेन्द्रियता है कल जीवे पहले विषय सागरे तारा मध्य जीवा अति लोभोमय सुदुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्णा बाडो दयामय करी बारे जीवा जय स्वप्रसाद नल दीला बाय से अनमृता खाओ राधा कृष्णा गुण गावो प्रेमे धाका चैतन्य निताय. O Lord, the material body is lump of ignorance, and the senses are a network of path leading to death. Somehow or other, we have fallen into the ocean of material sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world, but you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us. You have sent this nice prasada to help us conquer the tongue. Therefore, let us take this prasada to our full satisfaction and glorify your Lordship Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, and in love call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda. There are 6 kinds of rasas, taste, and if one is agitated by any of them, he becomes controlled by the urges of tongue. Some persons are attracted to eating of meat, fish, crabs, eggs, and other things produced by semen and blood, and eaten in the form of dead bodies. Others are attracted by eating vegetables, creepers, spinach, or milk products, but all for the satisfaction of tongue's demand. Such eating for sense gratification, including the use of extra quantities of spices like chili and tamarind, is to be given up by Krishna conscious persons. The use of pan, hari, what is it? Hari dhaki, betel nuts, various spices used in pan making, tobacco, ISD, marijuana, opium, liquor, coffee, and tea is indulged in to fulfill illicit demands. If we can practice accepting only remnants of food offered to Krishna, it is possible to get free from Maya's victimization. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk products, and water are proper food to offer to the Lord, as Lord Krishna himself prescribes. However, if one accepts prasada only because of its palatable taste and thus eats too much, he also falls prey to trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatable dishes even while eating prasada. If we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention of eating nice food, we are involved in trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. If we accept the invitation of a rich man with the idea of receiving palatable food, we are also trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 6.227, it is stated, Jivare Jivare lalaseyati iti utidhaya Shishnodara Parayana Krishna nahi paya. That person who runs here and there, seeking to gratify his palate, and who is always attached to the desires of his stomach and genitals, is unable to attain Krishna. As stated before, the tongue, belly, and genitals are all stimulated in a straight line, and they fall in the same category. Lord Chaitanya has said, Bhalana Bhalana Kaive Ara Bhalana Paribe. Do not dress luxuriously and do not eat delicious foods. CC Antya 6.236. Those who suffer from diseases of the stomach must be unable to control the urges of belly, at least according to this analysis. When we desire to eat more than necessary, we automatically create many inconveniences in life. However, if we observe fasting days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, we can restrain the demands of the belly. As far as the urges of the genitals are concerned, they are two: proper and improper, or legal and illicit sex. When a man is properly mature, he can marry according to the rules and regulations of the Shastra and use his genitals for begetting nice children. That is legal and religious. Otherwise, he may adopt many artificial means to satisfy the demands of the genitals and he may not use any restraint. When one indulges in illicit sex life, as defined by the Shastras, either by thinking, planning, talking about, or actually having sexual intercourse, or by satisfying the genitals by artificial means, he is caught in the clutches of Maya. These instructions apply not only to householders but also to Tyagis, or those who are in the renounced order of life. In this book, Prema Vivarta, chapter 7, Sri Jagadananda Pandita says, Vairagi Bhai, okay. My dear brother, you are in the renounced order of the life and should not listen to talk about ordinary worldly things, nor should you talk about worldly things when you meet with others. Do not think of women even in dreams. You have accepted the renounced order of life with a vow of that forbids you to associate with women. If you wish to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridasa and how he was rejected by the Lord. Do not eat luxurious dishes or dress in the fine garments, but always remain humble and serve their lordships, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, in your heart of hearts. The conclusion is that one who cannot, one who control these 6 items: speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals, is to be called a Swami or Goswami. Swami means master, and Goswami means master of the go or senses. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title of Swami. This does not mean that he is the master of his family, community, or society. He must be master of his senses. Unless one is master of his senses, he should not be called a Goswami or but Godasa, servant of the senses. Following in the footsteps of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana, all Swamis and Goswamis should fully engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As opposed to this, the Godasas engage in the service of the senses or in service of the material world. They have no other engagement. Prahlada Maharaja has further described the Godasa or Anantago, which refers to the whose senses are not controlled, and Adantago cannot become a servant of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlada Maharaja has said, Matirna Krishne Parata Svato Va Mito Vipadyeta Graha Pratanam Adanta Gobi Vishatam Tamishram Punascharvita Charvananam. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for gratification of their senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious, nor by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint conferences. They are dragged by the unbridled senses into the darkest region of ignorance, and thus they madly engage in what is called cheeving the cheeved. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So yes, we have read the entire purport. Tomorrow we will give it a we will a little discuss this purport. Okay, this is generally how we can control the demands of a body, like how we can control the tongue, belly, and genitals. Okay, so tomorrow we will cover this because everyone has to join for darshanarti, na? So वाञ्छाभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Happy Krishna conscious day. Like please when you are even you are joining now, like you can take out the 5 minute time, and like you can again read the same thing. Like more you read, more Prabhupada will give us realizations, and like more points we will learn from this book. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss this purpose, and from yesterday we will start the shloka 2. Okay, and please recite the shloka 1 also, na? Like we are like in class we are 10 to 15 times we are reciting, so like you will memorize easily. But in like in day also, like when you are getting 1 or 2 minute time, like you can simply try to recite, or you can simply take the screenshot of the shloka, and like whenever you get time, like you can try to recite. And this is the way how we can learn the shlokas. We simply have to hear the recordings of a shloka, and then we have to practice. Like as we practice the songs, na, like we repeatedly hear and repeatedly try to sing. So similarly we can practice the shlokas. Okay, so whenever you get the time, like you can keep the small copies of a small books, and like in 5-10 minutes you can simply read the 3-4 pages. Na, it is also good. And like like Namba Prabhuji said, at least 1 hour you should read the small books. So like how, like you cannot give the 1 hour straight now, so you can take out the 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and like you have to steal that time. Like before dinner you can uh, like read for a 5 minute 10 minute, and after that, like after dinner you can give the 5-10 minutes. So in this way you have to take out the time. So like we have to think in that way, how can I fulfill the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master, and even our senior devotees, because they are telling us not a different message. They are simply acting as a postman. They are simply giving the instructions as they are. So yes, like yes, Prabhuji has said that. So like we have to try to take out the time, like not to give excuses. I don't have time. You have to try, like you have to take out the time. Okay. So Hare Krishna, happy Krishna conscious day. Please, as we say, like you have to stay entire day in Krishna consciousness mood, like by chanting the holy names, by reading Srila Prabhupada books, by hearing the Krishna Katha. In this way we can always stay in a Krishna consciousness. So Hare Krishna everyone. Happy
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
conscious
Mataji,
day.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
Yes,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare
Mataji.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Thank you to
Mataji.
all glories to
Hare
assembled
Krishna.
devotees.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.